What's up, YouTube? It's a warm, rainy night here in Florida, and I'm not used to being on this side of the camera. So we're going to start this channel off indoors. Let's dive in. Alright, hey everyone. Today we're going to look at setting up a local development environment. We're going to keep it, pretty basic. While they're not a sponsor of this channel, we're going to go with a company called Flywheel. And they're just getflywheel.com. Found out about these folks recently, but love what they have going on. They're actually a hosting company, and they've got different setups for freelancers and agencies, and maybe we'll get into diving a little deeper into that in a later episode. But for today, we're going to head over to we're going to head on down to their local development app that they've created. You just go all the way to the bottom. In the footer, they've got a link to their app, Mac app, which is actually called Local by Flywheel, and you can go ahead and download that. And you fill in a few details and hit Get It Now, and they'll hit you with a link. So I've already gone ahead and done that and downloaded the app, and what you get is basically just a zip file. So we're going to go ahead and install this. We'll start by double clicking the zip file so we can extract the app file itself, and there's no setup, so we'll just drag this on into applications, and then we'll look for Local by Flywheel and go ahead and open it up. And once it gets going here, you'll see that get past a couple of these screens. You can decide whether you want to turn on error reporting or not. And Flywheel does need to update a few things to get started. This can take a few minutes, so if that's the case, then I'll go ahead and speed this up, and I'll check back in just a second. Alright, we'll pause right here for a second so that we can open the security preferences and make sure that our extension isn't blocked. So it's just a matter of coming down and hitting allow. Okay, now we finally get to the fun stuff, which is actually setting up a site. So let's go ahead and hit this nice little button in the middle that says create a new site. And for example purposes, I'm just going to go with a site for a new steak restaurant. We'll call it House of Steaks. And we twirl down this advanced options, and we can customize what our local site domain is, which is what will show in the URL bar for our site locally. We can choose a folder that we might want to put all these files in. So I'm going to hit browse. I'm going to actually go ahead and create a new folder on the desktop just for this, called House of Steaks, not Streaks. Hit create. And I'll go ahead and choose that and open. That's where all our files will go for this WordPress install. And I won't get into blueprints this time. I'll hit continue, and this is where you'll see your technology, your tech stack, your technologies that you're going to be running on. I tend to run on Apache servers, so I would come in here and change this. You've got a bunch of other PHP versions that you can choose from. This little arrow here shows that if you want to use one of these, you'll have to download a library for that. So feel free to do so, but for now I'm just going to leave these at 7.03, and same with the MySQL version. I'm just going to leave it so we don't have to sit and wait for anything else to download at the moment. And I'll go ahead and hit continue. And this is where you actually get to set your WordPress username and password. Now, Local by Flywheel is going to actually go ahead and set up an entire site for you. So you're going to need to be able to log in as the administrator. So feel free to put in whatever you'd want your username and password to be for the admin. I'm going with admin and password. Do not use those. But for me to keep it simple right now, I'll use those. And in the WordPress email field, you would put in your own email address. Under advanced options, all that's really here is whether it's a WordPress multi-site or not, and we're not going to get into that at this point either. So I'll go ahead and hit add site, and it wants to know, well, a couple of things. So I'll go ahead and type in operating system password so it can do its thing. And I'm going to select not to use admin and password as the default for every other site going forward. So I'll hit not now, and you can see back here it's installing WordPress. Doesn't take all that long. WordPress is installed. I'll open House of Stakes, the folder here, so you can get an idea of what happens. So Local by Flywheel actually creates a bit of a scaffolding inside of your folder with a few other folders, and your WordPress site lives within app and then public, and you'll see all your WordPress files are hanging out in there. Back over here in Local, you can see all the things that we chose. It's grabbed the latest WordPress version from wordpress.org, given it a name, not a multi-site. It's created a database, and here's the database info. You can set up an SSL locally as well. That way you can do testing for e-commerce sites and that sort of thing locally as well with SSL enabled. And then there's some mail preferences for setting up mail services. But we're going to head right to the most exciting part, and that's clicking this View Site button over here in the corner that'll actually launch our site in the default browser for your system. And you can see that we've got a fresh install of WordPress for our House of Stakes restaurant. And I'll go ahead and down here just click on login, type in admin and password, whatever your password is, and click login, and we're in the back end. And you can go ahead and create posts and pages, add plugins, customize the appearance, and do anything that you would normally do with a WordPress install. Alright, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Yes, I am wearing a different shirt. If you like the video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.